freaking Friday morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Brewer, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe B Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know this literally does not work. So let's wake up those football gods. Man, we're already in week number 6 of the NFL season, and the Eagles, well, they're 2-4. Yeah, they're 2-4. They are in the basement at the moment, like we most of us thought they would be. They definitely have some problems last night. If you watched our live stream where we were, of course, trolling our buddy Philly 500. Sorry, Eagle fans, I don't mean to make you mad, but hey, don't be mad because guess what? When you guys were winning, you trolled me just unbelievably. Just because you guys are mad now, hey, you're going to dish it out. Be prepared to take it when it's your turn. But the Eagles definitely have some problems. I think they're beginning to lose favor with Hurts because Hurts has definitely got some liabilities. And Nick Sirianni, Mr. Rock, Paper, Scissor, I'm not sure that he is the guy. So what we do know right now in the NFC East, that Washington will definitely be looking for a quarterback. Philadelphia will probably definitely be looking for a quarterback. And the jury's still out on the New York Giants. So fortunately for the Cowboys, it looks like we have our franchise quarterback in Dak Prescott. And it looks like Tyron Smith is okay. I think him being added to the list was basically, he did have a little twinge in his neck and was definitely having to be added to the list. But the Cowboys don't seem to be concerned and believe he will be a starter. I have some concerns because, of course, this neck issue and nerve system that he's been dealing with and having off-season surgery, we need Tyron Smith. The reason why this Dallas Cowboys offense is flowing the way it is, the reason that Zeke Elliott is on pace for over 1,500 yards and Tony Pollard is on pace for over 1,000, the reason that Dak Prescott against the blitz has had 3 games where he's thrown 3 touchdown passes is because of guys like Tyron Smith being in there. Now, as far as the team goes, if Tyron Smith ends up being out, we may be in a better position than before because after this week, Lyle Collins comes back, Terrence Steele, who has, he's got to be our most improved player. Terrence Steele from last year to this year is now the swing tackle. And if Lyle Collins comes back, then you can at least put Terrence Steele out there. You also have Ty Nsekhe. Ideally, we don't want to lose Tyron Smith for any games, but at this point in his career, I think you almost have to look at saying he will miss a couple of games. But they're saying that it won't be this Sunday. Interesting thing, we're going to New England. In New England, we have not had success there. We never have beaten Tom Brady. Of course, Tom Brady's not there, but Bill Belichick at home, I believe it's been like in the 80s or the 70s since the last time we got a victory in New England. Not that we play there on a regular basis, but we are at least facing Mac Jones, a rookie quarterback who has had 5 takeaways, 5 interceptions in the last 2 games, and maybe, Diggs, who's nursing a little bit of a sore ankle, can get his 7th of the season. Devin McCourtney went into talking about the Dallas Cowboys offense. I would rather listen to a player's perspective that is a current player right now and get their analysis than as opposed to somebody like Colin Cowherd, who's never been a pro football player, who's basically getting fed what to say and so on. So this is what Devin McCourtney said about the Dallas Cowboys offense, and he would know because after playing for 12 years and seeing just about everything and playing on really good defenses, he's seen a lot. I think anytime you put their skilled players with a quarterback like Dak and his abilities to keep plays alive, arm strength, arm talent, the more you watch them on offense, it's tough. They have a lot of offense. They've been able to run the ball at a high level. They've been able to throw the ball at a high level. When you talk about scramble plays, you're basically talking about like a backyard play when you have so many different weapons. That's what makes it really hard. like in the Carolina game where Dak is 2 seconds from getting sacked for -8 yards, and he flips it to Zeke Elliott, and they end up with a 2-yard game. But that flip, that play can turn into anything because now you have one of the better players in the NFL with the ball in his hands. His guy kind of leaves him because it's about to be a sack. There are those kinds of broken plays that I think, whether it's Zeke, whether it's CeeDee Lamb, whether it's Amari Cooper, like all of those guys, if they get the ball in their hands, Tony Pollard, it's an open field and it's a tough matchup. Dak is a mobile guy, but to me, you watch him, he's a drop back passer. He's going to throw the ball around the field and let him, if you don't get any pressures and you're not mixing coverages and he can come out and see what you're in, it's going to be a very long day. He'll pick you apart up and down the field. I think the added bonus for him is his ability to stay alive. He's not athletic. He's not just athletic. He's a strong guy. You just watch him like the Carolina play. He should have been sacked, but it's kind of like he's slowly going down. He's able to flip the ball. I would say just an athletic, bigger, stronger guy that can do anything he wants by just sitting in the pocket as well as reading coverages and getting the ball. The 9 route he threw to CeeDee Lamb last week, where it was kind of looks off the safety, and we kind of call it like throwing blind, where you're looking off and you just throw it to a spot. I mean, it was perfect. Passes against the Giant, he really has the ability to do a lot of different things on the field. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of deep thought. That isn't just scratches the surface and say, oh, he's pretty good. He's gone through the Giants game. He's gone through individual plays. He's looked at what could have been an 8-yard loss that could be a 2-yard game, but and broken it down. And this is the thing, if you're a defensive coordinator, you have to look at the Dallas Cowboys offense and just say, what the fuck? What the fuck do I do? What do I do? Zeke Elliott is running the last couple of weeks over 100 yards. You got Tony Pollard, who's usually getting over 50. Do I stop him as a running team? Do I put 8 men in the box? Do I cover Amari? Do I cover CD? Hell, do I cover Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz? Those guys are making plays. Dak Prescott, they do bootlegs. He gets outside, run pass options. I just, it's like, what do you want me to do here? There's no way to stop all of these guys if they're on point. Do I blitz? Well, hell, versus the blitz, Dak Prescott's had 3 games where he's had 3 touchdown passes against the blitz. If I don't blitz, they'll pick me apart because they'll have all day. If I don't try and stop the run, if I try and cover all the receivers, then Zeke Elliott's just going to be a slow death with Tony Pollard. They'll just run it right up the middle on me. How do you expect me to stop this offense? And right now, I don't know how you put it any other way, but this offense is more dynamic than anybody else's. This offense, between so much balance between the run and the pass, I just don't see how you can't look and say that this is possibly the best offense in football. I love it. I absolutely, positively love it. Now, before I get out of here, I want to go ahead and bring up Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, who's never been a really big fan of the Dallas Cowboys. And listen to what ESPN has to say going into the New England game.
3.5 touchdowns against New England.
I'm going to say less. I'm going to say, look, the quickest way to lose football games, as we know, are explosive plays when a team just throws the ball over your head. I've listened to Bill Sett in his meetings too many times to know that that is something that he is stressing right now. That's not to say that they're just going to give up the run game, but I think he will try to make sure that in the deep part of the field, Dak just doesn't go crazy here. And in the red area, they'll play good defense. So yeah, I'm going to say less than 3.5 for Dak.
All right, fair enough. Now, a lot of people have gotten somewhat carried away with the success of the Cowboys so far. You know who's among them? Amari Cooper is among them. Amari Cooper is thinking super thoughts. He says when you're on a roll like this, you start thinking about a Super Bowl. That's just the reality of it. You start to want it more and more the closer you get, and you start to worry about the little things more. Bart Scott, what do you think of those comments from Amari Cooper?
No, he's right to think that, but I just don't think you verbalize that because that puts a bullseye on your back. Now, listen, they're a team that's going to win that division. No, I remember, like, when Rex said that, now we got team's best effort because they wanted to make sure that we put our foot in our mouth. And, like, listen, this team has everything. This guy, on the road, what you have to pack in the playoffs is a run game and a defense. The defense is opportunistic, and that's usually what happens. That's what you need from a defense when you can salt away possessions and run the football like they're able to run. But it is a very long season. And, you kind of just want to stay underneath the radar. You don't want to kind of – and I know that's hard to do for any Dallas Cowboy, because they are the franchise that is the most popular America's team. But I would just want him to keep those comments to himself and keep it amongst each other. They have a lot to deal with, and what I don't want them to do is get complacent because their schedule is relatively easy, and then all of a sudden you get in the playoffs, it's a different level, and now you're playing against teams that can punch back.
Well, Lewis, you said earlier on the program you think this is a must-win game for New England, which sort of made it sound to me like you consider this a week where the Cowboys could stumble here, as you have watched Dallas, and they have been the talk of the sport so far. What are you seeing?
Yeah, offensively, there's no question that they are in a premium sweet spot, meaning no matter what you do, whatever you try to focus on, they can hit you with the counterpunch because they're that well-rounded. You put 8 in the box, they're going to kill you one-on-one on the outside. You put 2 high and really try to play umbrella, you see what they can do with with Zeke and Tony Pollard. They can just bludgeon you right down the middle of the field and just run the ball, run you out of that 2 high shell. And then as soon as Dak says, look, I think you're going to be in single high here, he's going to try and push the ball down the field. So that's a problem. Now, defensively, they're not a finished product by any means. They feast off of turnovers. This team feasts off of the turnover differential. They're number 2 in the NFL. They're +7. And we know that turnovers equate to, or rather winning the turnover differential equates to winning in the NFL. And it's no different with Dallas. And they have got it in their favor right now, just as the Buffalo Bills that are number 1 in the NFL, I believe at +11. They're steamrolling people because extra possessions for an explosive offense means more points, which means more pressure on the other team's offense.
Yep.
And then they put the ball in the air, and then that's when Trayvon Diggs goes to work. So this is all just it's a great formula for them right now. We'll see if New England can break it because I know this. Bill preaches the same thing. Get turnovers, take the ball away from the other team. Don't beat yourself. Dallas isn't beating itself right now. They have to find a way to make them beat themselves. We'll see. They're desperate, that being New England. Dallas right now is riding high, as Amari Cooper obviously has already kind of illuminated to the rest of us.
That's right. And to that point, Trayvon Diggs, he has a catch in every game this year, and he plays defense. So it's just a remarkable stat in every imaginable way. So when you have one of the team stars talking Super Bowl, what do you think?
I'm okay with it. You know why? Because all Amari Cooper did was say the quiet part out loud. The difference is this Bills team that I just covered treated a few years ago, they would have treated that game beating the Chiefs like they won the Super Bowl. Now they're like, we have bigger goals. We're not worried about week 5. But the Cowboys are the same way. But we put the expectations on the Cowboys. Every year we're like, are the Cowboys legit? And some of us at this table actually was high on the Cowboys in the offseason.
That's true. No, you were
not Bart Scott.
In the middle of the table. Put something on that. You want to put your eyebrows on it? No, just play.
Unlike you, I'm not about to bet that, no,
That was actually me she was coming at with that one. But I will come back to you because you said when Rex would do all this, she said the quiet part out loud. There was no quiet part with Rex Ryan, obviously, when he's a coach or as an analyst. Right. So you're saying that you think that can matter when guys start talking that way.
Of course, because everybody's looking to make a name for themselves, and teams are looking for respect. So how do you get that respect? You get that respect from the flavor of the week. And the flavor of the week right now to Dallas Cowboys. So if you're going to see them, so now you're going to get every team's best effort. So what you want to do, you don't want to make sure that they come out there with all that enthusiasm because, you always going to have a flat game where you kind of beat up, you're tired, and you're trying to be lethargic. You saw that with the Ravens on Monday night. They thought they can get by the Colts, and now they was in a bigger fight than they wanted because they had an opponent that wanted to make a name off them.
Okay, let's talk about a quarterback, meanwhile, who just set it all on fire on Monday night. What a performance. To Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, the 19th.
My response to Bart Scott on that is, actually, I always say, if you want something, you first have to believe that it can happen. You must believe that you can achieve and do something special. If you don't believe that it can happen, chances are it won't. Because that's the first thing you must do when you want something, even when it seems improbable, is you first have to believe that you can achieve it. Then you have to bust tail to get there. It's the truth. It's the truth. That's your goal. You're shooting for the moon. You're shooting for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll be among the stars, as they say. As far as getting teams best, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And the Cowboys, it would be easy when you look at the schedule, if they continue to play the way they are against teams and blow them out. You know, they destroy the Giants, they destroy the Eagles and things. I would rather my team be tested in getting people's best games to keep them on their toes than for them to just kind of bowl over everybody and then get to the playoffs and not be challenged. So I don't look at it as a negative. He didn't do a Babe Ruth and point and say, we're winning the Super Bowl. What he said was, when you start playing like this, you start thinking about things like that. And when you start thinking about things like that, then to me, you have to start thinking about what I have to do to get there. I've been in the NFL for 6 or 7 years, and I understand I haven't been anywhere close to it. What more can I do to get us there? If I can get 2% more out of me, if Zeke can get 2% more, if this guy can get a couple more percent, if we collectively put all together and we keep rolling and keep focused, there's nothing that we can't achieve. So I don't think it's necessarily a target on the back. Of course, the talking heads are going to say it's a target, and they're going to say the Cowboys, of course, are always, coming up with this, that, and the other. That's the media. This Cowboy team, they've got aspirations of winning the Super Bowl. Make no doubt about it. It's not like, don't say anything. Listen, I can guarantee you in that locker room, listen, what have you done today to get us one step closer to the Super Bowl? What have you done? Amari Cooper doing an interview on the field. End of practice. Sees a route he wants to try. Goes back out on the field and works harder. Dak Prescott wanting to get back so much that literally once he finally got a chance to start throwing, threw his arm like crazy because he's not complacent about, hey, I got my big contract now. I can kick back. He worked harder. Zeke Elliott, a guy who everybody said he's done. Dude rededicated, came back in great shape, ready to rock and roll with the rock and without the rock, blocking his ass off, being, sacrificing his body to protect his quarterback. I don't have a problem with that, as long as they're putting in the work. So that being said, today's going to be a fun day. Today's going to be a fun day because this afternoon I get to go pick up my latest son's shirt. Yeah, we'll be giving away a couple of those over the next couple of days. But you know how we roll.
Our folks here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe for the Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
I'll see y'all soon.